Hey superhero fans, it's Fit Nerd. If you're enjoying our super content, then hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you can stay updated on the superhero world. Hey, what's up super fans? It is Fit Nerd from Superheroes Ultimate, and Wolverine is back! Alright, so Wolverine is back, but he's not back. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. Since I saw it in the previews of The Hunt for Wolverine was coming through, this is a direct follow-up to the death of Wolverine, which all of you guys know. Wolverine has been encased in adamantium. He is dead. He has no way of getting out, and once adamantium is solidified, there is no escaping it whatsoever, so he pretty much just either suffocated in there, which is a legitimate way that Wolverine can die, is either by severing off his head or suffocating him. So, you know, he's dead. He's supposedly really dead, and now we're at the Hunt of Wolverine. Okay, so we got the Hunt of Wolverine. I started reading it, and I'm like, alright, this is going to be a one-off, and then I see that there's like 4 more series that are branching off into this, and I'm like, alright, cool, I'm super stoked about this. And then I find out that each one of these 4 is also going to have pretty much a whole mini series of its own. So if you guys have read, warning to you guys who haven't read this yet or haven't read the first piece of The Hunt of Wolverine, I am going to be doing some spoilers right now, so if this is your warning right now, I'm going to talk about it. Sorry. Listen, we have to talk about the Wolverine. This is freaking awesome. This is crazy, and there's a big problem with it also. So, alright, last warning, spoilers. Like us, subscribe to us, and on we go. Alright, so in here we see the entire X-Men. This issue is really freaking good because we get the classic X-Men. We see Nightcrawler, we see Psylocke, we see Colossus, Storm, Cyclops, of course. There's a lot of X-Men involved at the funeral of Wolverine, and basically the adamantium casing in which he died in is now his monument, basically, you know. And the way they wrote this and the way they did it is absolutely genius, because I would have never thought about it. But Kitty Pryde has a big deal in her part for the Hunt of Wolverine, and the way they did it was freaking cool. I am totally for it. Now, what I don't like about it is that it's branching off into like 4 different sections. It's cool, but at the same time it's not. It's cool because, alright, now we got like multiple teams, basically like their own little MCU thing going on, and everybody is looking for Wolverine. Because in the first issue, which this is a one-off, Kitty Pryde is going all over the place searching for Wolverine's body, because in this issue we find out that the Ravengers come into play and they want Wolverine's body and they want the adamantium, and all of a sudden they trigger a bunch of security alarms, and then the entire X-Men comes in and just whoops their asses. And so does Alpha Flight. They come in also into the story, and okay, so someone manages to break open the casing where Wolverine is in, and it turns out it's an empty freaking shell. So there's an empty adamantium casing, no Wolverine in it, and we flash back to what Kitty Pryde has done, and it is the most genius thing ever. She can phase his body out of the casing, and it's very difficult for Kitty Pryde to do this because she has to separate the flesh, the bone, and adamantium from one another to phase him out properly. Now, once she actually manages to phase him out properly, we have his body, and Beast, of course, goes and does all of his tests on him and to make sure that he is fully dead. And he says in every way imaginable he is not coming back. He is officially dead. So they bury his body, And after burying his body, we go to Kitty Pryde, you know, visiting his grave, and turns out that the flag that he was buried in is outside. So she gets a hunch and she's like, wait, what the hell is going on here? She puts her head down, and all of a sudden she calls on to the rest of the X-Men. She's like, something is wrong, we have to make sure, we have to check it out. So they dig his grave up, and of course it's empty. There is no Wolverine body to be found. Now once we get that and we're missing his body, this is where the hunt actually begins. Kitty Pryde is going to all different types of teams. She goes to Tony Stark, she goes to Iron Man, which is assembling his own team. She goes to Daredevil. Like, everyone is literally looking for Logan's body now. And that's what the whole gist of the Hunt of Wolverine is. And this is where it also splits up into 4 different sections, I guess you could say. 4 different parts where it's actually the stories. So in the first part we have Weapon Lost, which is with Daredevil. Honestly, this was a bit dry for me. There was nothing too fantastic about it. Of course we get Misty Knight, so that's pretty badass. We get one of the Inhumans to come in here, and they got their own little, you know, clique going on. And then in the next one we have which is Adamantium, which I don't have in my hands yet, but I'm supposed to be getting it today, so I'm gonna go pick it up later at the comic book store. But we have 4 different sections, and they're all coming in week after week after week. And the problem is, now I have week after week after week of just pure Wolverine, and it's awesome, and at the same time it sucks because I'm reading all the other stuff. I'm reading the All New Wolverine, I'm reading Old Woman Laura. I mean, I'm also checking out whatchamacallit, some DC stuff and DC Nation. You know, now we got DC No Justice, the new Justice League, which is direct following from DC's Metal, if you guys are onto that. So there's a lot of issues all of a sudden just like, you know, bum rushing us from every single week basically. And it's going to continue going like that for a couple of months now, because now this whole month we got issue number 1 of all of these parts, and then next month every single week. So it's very clever on Marvel's side how they're doing it. It is, you know, they have a whole connection. I guess the payoff all at the end is gonna come together in the very last issue, but you're kind of forced into, you have to get all these issues every single week, and that sucks. But I mean, shut up and take my money, because I do want to continue reading this. It is a freaking great storyline, and it's a great way to bring back Logan. Okay, it was just a matter of time. We all knew it ever since Superman, the death of Superman. We all knew he was going to eventually come back, and he's technically back, but nobody knows where he actually is. I mean, for all we know, they might have just cloned him into another X-24 or something. But that's one of the biggest issues, is that there's so many issues. That's a problem right there. But it's actually a good problem at the same time, because it's like a, you know, I'm getting my comic fix on a weekly basis with some really cool characters. It's basically its own little MCU / Netflix in the comic book world, and I've never really seen it like this. I've kind of seen it in the DC Metals, in you know, the Batman Metal series, where they have a tie-in, and then they have the continuing issue, and then they have a couple of tie-ins in there and solo one-offs. This is like directly like week after week after week after week of just Logan and looking for Logan. So I'm excited for it either way. I'm definitely going to keep getting the issues because it's a really awesome storyline, and the payoff should be great. If it's not, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to pop out my claws. But hey, this is so that's the update on the Hunt for Wolverine and the problem with it. And it's not really a problem, but it is, because it's hitting my wallet pretty hard. It's probably gonna hit up you guys, but I recommend reading this because it's freaking epic and it's awesome, and Wolverine is back, baby. Yeah. So if you liked what I said today, go down into that big red button and subscribe. Give us a like. Comment below. What do you think? Is this like an issue for you guys that there's so many issues? Are you excited that Logan is back? Were you guys surprised how Kitty Pryde was able to bring his body out of the adamantium casing and then give him a proper burial? Are you excited that there's so many characters involved? Comment below. This is Fit Nerd, over and out.
3, 2, 1,